Hello, hello, hello. Once again, welcome back to the Millionaire by Morning Podcast. We have a guest with us today by the name of Chuck Day. He is a CEO, owner, and author, recovery advocate, and a business coach. Welcome to the Millionaire by Morning Podcast, Chuck.
Thank you for having me out here.
Hey, man, you say you're from Cincinnati, Ohio, huh?
Yeah, born and raised. Been here all my life.
Is that right?
39
Well,
years.
39 years. Well, man, I see that you've done a lot as a CEO, as an author, recovery advocate, business coach. You told me before the show that you're putting yourself out there now and things are working out, starting to snowball and your momentum is starting to go. And
Yes.
so yeah, man, give us a little background about yourself. Where you come from, and did you always know you was an entrepreneur, or is that something you stumbled onto?
So my background, I have always had a sense of knowing that I'm an entrepreneur. Ever since I was young, I've always been pretty creative when it comes to like putting together ideas to be able to generate income all the way back to when I was a child to running different newspaper routes, Kool-Aid stands, selling gym shoes to getting involved in illegal activities for a long time. When I was young, I was looking for ways to be able to bring in income, to be able to provide like just clothes that I wanted, shoes that I wanted, to be able to, have the stuff that I would dream of as a kid. I always was a dreamer. So, I mean, I got involved in selling crack cocaine, ecstasy, pain pills, mushrooms, acid, weed. I mean, you name it, I sold it. I think I started selling crack cocaine when I was 13. And, through that process, I got addicted to drugs myself. And I could only, out hustle my habit for so long. My addiction caught up to me. And I was in and out of institutions, in and out of not knowing, if I was going to be able to quit using. I know I caught some legal charges, some aggravated trafficking, aggravated possessions, trafficking in the school zone, possession in the school zone when I was a teenager, robbery when I turned 18, and through the grace of God, I beat a lot of them charges. I did some time over them charges, and I knew when I was 16 um, what I would have got paid at like a local restaurant. It wasn't going to be enough for me to support the people around me like I wanted to. So I know my mom; she was an alcoholic. She never held a job. She had Section 8 her whole life. She lived in, different Section 8 housing, never had a license. So I was surrounded by that. And she was, using, different drugs herself. So I had my dad, which has always been my role model. He was a single father of three. He took care of all three of us after him and my mom separated, and he worked, right? He was really religious when it came to working, was really a part of that working class, just always wanted to work, would always preach work, and he instilled a good work ethic in me. However, like I had that entrepreneur mindset where I wanted to be the one that would create the business versus work inside the business. So I had been in some near death experiences when I was growing up, like being shot, pistol whipped, dragged my car, OD'd. The list goes on. I mean, multiple overdoses, so many overdoses I don't even remember. Attempts of suicide. And I became an IV heroin user when I was 19. I used drugs for 15 years. all the way up until I was 27. And I mean, I sold illegal drugs heavily from the time I was 13 till about 23. And then I became a real hardcore drug addict where it was just trying to get the next one. And then going against a lot of my core values, robbing people, cheating, lying, doing what I had to do to be um, not sick. I started doing Oxycontins. That was the pain pill that really threw me off. I got into Vicodins, I got into Percocets, and then Oxycontins came along. And I remember a friend of mine, we were on his back porch. He said, I got this Oxycontin. We split it. I threw up all day long, and I told myself I was never going to do it again. But the next morning, I asked him if he could get another one. And I knew something was different, right? Because I had the entrepreneur, spirit, but I had the drug spirit, the drug addiction too. So they don't go right well with each other. And I went through a long, dark road of pain, trials and tribulations for a long time, trying to figure out, how to navigate both. And I realized monkeys can't sell bananas. And that's when I found myself in and out of treatment centers, in and out of jails and institutions, and almost losing my life. And when I got sober, it took a few times, right? Relapse was a part of my story. But when I got sober this time, I was introduced to a sober living house. And I went there, which is just a community of, people that are there and they want to change their life and refrain from the use of drugs. So there I was introduced to like the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. And at that point in my life, I wanted to do everything in my power to change because there was a lot of friends of mine that were dying or, doing a long time in the penitentiary. And I went out on this soul searching journey to make my wrongs right, clean up the wreckage of my past. And through that process, I started to find out my true identity and why I used because I never was comfortable with myself, who I was inside. So through that internal work, right, I was able to find stability. And I went on to stay at the sober living for 18 months. I had a kid. I already had a daughter, right, that I wasn't able to see for a long time. And I was working on rebuilding that relationship. I had my son, and we ended up living back at my dad's house for a short period of time in the basement again, where I used to use at. And he evicted me out of the house a lot, but he never gave up on me. He showed up, see me in jail, put money on my books, would always, talk to me about, making real life changes so I wouldn't fall into the victim mentality or become a victim of the streets. So he's always steered me in the right direction. I just made some horrible decisions because my focus was in the wrong area. And I found out like when I focused on recovery, I was able to accomplish recovery. And in school, I flunked out a lot, but I did finally make it through and graduate high school. But I had horrible grades, and I realized it's because I never focused on it, And so I'm in this sober living. I start working. Never really had a legal job before, and then I went on to open a window company. That failed miserably. Then I went on to become a counselor, and I worked as a behavioral health tech at different treatment centers. And then I had the dream to open up a sober living myself. And through that process, I went to college. I was the first person to graduate college in my family. I was able to break that generation curse. And I learned a lot. College taught me how to think. And working in treatment, and then opening up my own sober living, I had a fear like, will I be able to actually have enough clients? And God provided. I had a waiting list. And I was there, helping these guys. I found my true purpose in life, man. And it's a God assigned assignment for me to help people get better, find out what has been causing them to use their whole life, what's the underlying issue. And so through opening that first sober living, I went on and I kept, establishing that business, as an entrepreneur, as a person in long-term recovery, as a person that loved to help other people. I found out how to do it all in one, which was that light bulb that came on to me, and I've been 100% sold out on the idea that whole time. So I just purchased my ninth sober living, and I have went and opened a treatment center too, which is a behavioral health practice. We specialize in substance use disorder with dual diagnosis, mental health. And we allow these people, call our intake line. They come in, they do withdrawal management. We provide therapy, case management, medical services, nurse services, peer support, people with lived experience, helping these people um, get reestablished and not use. So I have done that, and I have, worked extremely hard on that. It's probably one of the hardest businesses to open, to maintain, to grow, to professionalize, to systemize. But we have grown tremendously, and within the first 5 years, work-life balance was almost impossible for me. I know from sun up to sundown, I was working, every position in the business while I was building it up. And as soon as I looked at my timeline and I realized what position was taking up most of my time, I would remove myself from that position and I would hire someone else that was more qualified. I would always lean towards hiring people that were better than me. So I was really picky on, selecting my team, making sure they aligned with the mission. And we, started building this team. Now we have 67, 68 employees at the treatment center. We just recently, and after like really understanding this realm that I'm in, I started diversifying. I opened a restaurant called Powderhouse Cafe and Hibachi, which is a fusion restaurant. We got American cuisine items on there with hibachi on there too, and that's just opened December 12th this last month. I just opened a real estate business called Next Key Homes. I'm finished with my first rehab. It's a single family home. It's a fix and flip, and I'm gonna sell that, and I'm gonna roll that into a multi-family home because I don't want to waste too much time in the single family homes. I want to get into the bigger projects that are more suitable to last and generate better income with cash appreciation, with tax benefits. So yeah, it's been a journey, man, from the bottom of the bottom to climbing up, man, to the top, and understand how important it is to have that calm during the storm. That self control because there's different problems being solved every day. There's a lot of fires being put out. There's a lot of individuals being built up into their position to be able to handle their responsibilities, to leadership meetings, to KPIs, to planning for tax season a year out before you're even at that point of the year. A lot of learning. I knew none of this stuff. So it's just a testimony to say just because you don't know it don't mean you can't do it. Where your focus goes is what you are going to be able to achieve. I believe that. My whole life has proven that. When I focused on the bad, that's what I accomplished. When I focused on the good, that's what I've been able to accomplish. Now, I got a family. Me and my fiance, we got 6 kids, 4 bonus kids, 2 biological kids of my own. I've been able to provide, a room for my dad. he's retired and he's living here. He calls it Pleasure Palace. We live in a beautiful home, beautiful neighborhood, and we we grew up in a trailer park. And I've lived in some bad neighborhoods and overcame a lot. And I'm just so excited about the whole entrepreneur journey. I find out that's what makes me tick. Being
Yeah.
able to create, grow. Like, yeah,
Yes, sir.
the money's great, but knowing like I took an idea right out of the air, out of my mind, and I was able to put it into real planning to be able to create real results.
Righteous. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. That's a hell of a story. That's what I call a testimony right there, man.
I appreciate it.
Are you are you partnershiped with the Potter's House?
I'm 100% ownership. Yeah, so 100% ownership. You can go to my website, Powerhouse Treatment. That
So the
explain.
Potter House is not to be confused with TD Jake's Potter
No,
House.
so he's got a ministry, right? I think it's in Texas. So
Yes, in Texas.
ours is now the treatment center is called um, Potterhouse Recovery, right? And then the sober livings or the treatment center is called Potterhouse. The sober livings are called Potterhouse Recovery, and then the restaurant is called Potterhouse Cafe and Hibachi. So just branding, right? Different
Yeah,
entities to be able to have exposure and develop awareness. So,
right.
but yeah, the name right was originated from the Bible,
Yeah,
and a friend of mine, Corey Potter, that OD'd and died. So we were able to use like the biblical story, and we were able to use that in memory of him, where
right.
his spirit will live forever through us. And then one of my sober livings that I'm getting ready to open, I'm gonna name it after my brother who committed suicide, shot himself in the chest
Hmm.
under the influence of cocaine, going through a breakup with his wife. So it's going to be called the Tyler Day House. And then we opened up a mommy and me house to allow moms with kids to come in. And that's named after my fiance's mom that overdosed too, Kimberly. So the Kimberly's House of New Promises. So we're doing it, yeah, for the ones that passed away. They didn't really have a real chance at being able to overcome some of their demons.
Right, right. When you were able to uh, figure out, you were able to dig deep enough. When you went to the recovery house, I don't really know how it works, but you were able to find out what it was within you that made you kind of a user.
Yes,
And you
sir.
said that you lacked what was it, self love or self esteem?
Yeah, self love. Yeah, self confidence. Abandonment issues from my mother. Choosing multiple guys over me. I mean, I'd be at the door banging on the door trying to get in, knowing like she was in there, messing with another guy, and that really you will do something to an individual, will traumatize you, recurring trauma, um, knowing like she's choosing the bottle over you, and it will really cause like internal conflict, making you feel like you're not worthy, right? Making you feel like you're not enough. And I had a lot of stuff I had to resolve,
Right,
to build up the man I am today, and just chasing the man I want to become, not who I once was.
right,
Even though like today, I know my mom loved me, from the bottom of her heart. She just uh, dealt with alcoholism, right? The same thing. I told myself I wasn't going to end up like her. I became 10 times worse than
right,
her. But like
right,
I think it runs in DNA too, right? Studies show that it runs in DNA, and sometimes it can skip generations. So I mean, it could have been passed off from her to me, and the way she grew up was they raised her right, but she obviously went down the path of being an alcoholic, and I was instilled some good principles, even though we were up against a lot growing up. I still decided to go down the wrong path, but like getting involved with like the wrong crowd too.
Yeah.
Like you are who you hang out with. I'm a firm believer in that today. That's why I'm trying to talk to you, right?
That's
And
right,
try to
man.
get into these masterminds and try to affiliate with other entrepreneurs and understand, like, my spiritual walk with different churches and not go and hang out with the same people that I got in trouble with, and I had to walk away from them for a long time. A lot of them followed and found recovery too, which leadership ain't always hanging out with the crowd; it's walking away.
Yeah.
And so me and my coworker, we were just talking about a lot of leaderships are misunderstood. Like a lot of leaders are misunderstood, and but like we forged a new path, and I've done that, and there's been a lot of people to follow. I mean, thousands and thousands of people I've helped mentor, taught, coached, and that's what I really love today. That's why I started my coaching class and
What are you
looking.
coaching?
Say it again.
What are you coaching
So
specifically?
business coaching, yeah, just the fundamentals of business. I know I have multiple businesses, and I know some businesses it takes longer to learn the ins and outs, but I know like the realm of business is similar, and same. You got operations, you got sales, you got marketing, you got data, you got finances, you got systems, you got uh, policies and procedures, and if you can implement that, put the right people in place with your marketing and team, I believe any business can be successful.
Right. So do you have any type of specific coaching for opening sober houses
Not specifically, just business in general, whatever.
overall? Okay.
Yeah. Now, the one client that I was recently working with, we were discussing, yeah, and helping her understand and the blueprint behind on how to open up the sober living. So,
Right.
but I've worked with a lot of people just in their business in general. So, now that we're into restaurants and real estates and sober livings and treatment centers, like I've learned that all businesses are similar, if you know how to lay it out correctly.
Right.
And
So
have,
did you go?
yeah,
You said you went back to school.
yes,
You decide it was. Did you go back to school? Because it sounds to me like you a hustler. You started from the jump. You were already that. So you know how to get money.
absolutely.
The so did you and you know how to
Yeah.
manage people and things that come with business just naturally. So did you go back to school simply, or I don't want to say simply because it's not simple. Did you go to school to exclusively get certified at something so you could run, you had to have like particular licenses or
Yes.
certifications or something
Well,
like
yeah,
that?
and that's the mind frame. When I was working at the treatment center, I wanted to, like, my goal was just to become a licensed counselor. So I went to school for that, and then in that process, like, I'm very aware of my surroundings and what's going on internally, externally. Anytime you put me in an atmosphere, an environment, I'm quick to, like, find out the ins and outs. So through that process, I got my associate's degree, but I learned that I didn't even need a degree to open up behavioral health practice. So my goal was to, go after my master's degree. But after I get my associate's degree, I learned enough internally to go the entrepreneur route to be able to open up the practice. And now I have uh, PhD, doctors working for me, psych nurse practitioners, clinical doctors working for me that has a lot more schooling than I do.
Right,
The
right.
only thing difference with me is After I stopped pursuing the traditional education, I went into educate myself. And I have a whole library upstairs of tons of books that I read. I never stop learning, and that's a part of it. Being able to master the student of being a learner, all the time.
That's so dope, man. I have to say, listening to your story, it just reminded me of a lot of people that I was surrounded around and grew up with and kind of know the story of, people who are naturally talented and are naturally hustlers, can naturally get money, and are the D students and the C students. They're not the A students. They're not
Right.
the best teacher. I
Yeah.
mean, they're not the class, the pet,
Yeah.
but they have it. And a lot of the times, those people, they do go down the wrong path. And I truly believe it's the grit within. It's something within. And some of the times it's the hunger for something that kind of get people off of track. Jay-Z is one of my favorite rappers, man. And he has a line where he says that money, when you're out there hustling, it can just be the love of the money or getting money, hustling
Yeah.
period, can be just as addicting as the drug itself,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
listen to him a lot. Yeah. He said, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman."
there you go. There you
Yeah.
go, man. So, I think it's like you say, it's in sometimes it's just in your DNA.
Right.
Your surroundings got a lot to do with who you are and how you come up out of that situation. But a lot of the times, like they say, a rose rise up out of the concrete.
I got
You
a
know?
tattoo on me. Yeah. A rose coming out of the concrete right here.
Yes, sir.
It says "Rose out of the concrete," and it
Yes,
was
sir.
inspired by Tupac. Yeah.
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 Yes, sir. So you know exactly what I mean, man. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
the perfect story. You're telling that perfect story, man. I see why you got the tattoo. So yeah, man, big ups to you. Much applause. This is my first time using this. Hold on. Yeah, that's dope, man. So hey, man, you are the epitome of the person that I want on this show. I
Yeah.
would really like for you to purchase one of these. I was on the
Okay.
Millionaire by Morning show because, man, you are the brand. You feel me?
How do I
You
purchase one of those?
um, it was at the this was the QR code that was at the beginning,
Oh, okay. I missed it.
but I can send you the link in whatever email it was. I'll send you the link to the store. But yeah,
Yeah.
man,
Send it to
you
me. Yeah. I never fathomed the thought of being a millionaire. I know when I first was young, it was just to be able to provide for me and my siblings, and help my
right,
dad out, help my mom out. And then being misled in the streets, like I realize now, right? There's a lot more money legally
yeah,
versus illegally, and the more I read, the more I can actually see the world for what it is.
right,
And
right,
I
right,
think a lot of us just lack that education, that guidance, and when I got into what I do now, like it was just the love of helping people. I had no idea where God was taking me.
yeah,
Never really had a set amount of money I wanted to make. Now, when the money started coming in, it helped motivate me. So I'm like, this is an opportunity for me to leave something behind long after I'm dead,
yeah.
and being a good steward of that too.
That's
Like,
right.
you're faithful to a little, he'll allow you to be faithful to a lot.
That's
And
right.
now I'm still doing that day in, day out. Like, I go broke a couple times a year. A lot of people don't understand that. I'm investing everything,
Man,
put back.
I know a street saying, and it's crazy because everything that I do, this podcast, it's influenced by the streets, right? So,
Okay.
but it's a mindset shift. That's basically what it is. And what I've always heard, always, is keep your money in the streets. So I come up around a lot of hustlers, and that was And what that just meant for anybody that's out there listening is they say the same thing. Grant Cardone, all the real estate investors go broke at the end of the year. It's because all of their money is in assets.
Absolutely.
All of their money is in investments. It may not have dollars in their pocket, but they have plenty of money in the streets.
Right.
Spread out. So
yeah,
that is yeah, man. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I literally, just purchased a home. I think it was December 29th. I was trying to, get it done before January 1st.
That's right. That's right. You say you never think about being a millionaire, but everything you got going on, you will be soon.
Well,
if not already.
I made my first million when I was 38.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a multi-millionaire now. And I'm like, only, through God and the ability to suit up and show up,
Right.
And like you take a lot of hits, in the process of being an entrepreneur, being in business. And it's like, I think it came from JC. You learn how to move in a room full of vultures too. Right. And navigating that, because everybody ain't got your best interest, and a large percentage supports you, but then you have a crowd that just naturally want to try to bring you down for no reason, and being able to navigate that, and still, I use the biblical term where it says, don't repay evil with evil, repay them with good. So I don't, hold resentments. And a lot of them, they end up calling me for help down the road anyway.
Right.
Like, I leave the door open, I'm here to help. Like, I'm just gonna keep my eyes on the prize. And I think a lot of people, through the pressure and the stress, they take their eyes off of where they're headed.
Right.
And they fail through that process. Like, if you just keep looking forward, keep your head down, don't engage with any of the unnecessary distractions, like, you'll be surprised what God will do for you before you're halfway through.
That's right. You're sure right, man. Keep your head down. And it sounded like you had some sleepless nights, man, because you it sounded like that you were playing many hats. You had many hats on, playing many roles.
Yeah, I still do. Yeah. I've been able to strategically, build the business internally and finally like pull myself out, which that was a magic trick on its own. Like, be able to get everything, staged correctly so you can build on top of the business. And I didn't know them concepts. I went to masterminds and learned them concepts. So luckily I got in the right rooms,
That's right.
To be able to learn like these corporate processes and put them into place. A lot of it's faith, like having an idea and willing to walk it out, make some mistakes, and have some embarrassment moments, but learning from them, and then staying the course.
Right. That's it, man. That's all you can do is fall down and get back up.
Yeah.
The person that get back up, the more times is going to be the winner, guaranteed.
Every time. Yeah.
That's it, man. So, hey, where can people find you, dude? Are you on social media or what?
I'm on social media. You can go to Facebook. You can find me Chuck Day on Facebook. You can go to Instagram. I do a lot of content creation for people in recovery, for people into business. Instagram is Chuck Day Enterprises. So YouTube, it's Chuck Day. Go check out my content. I've spoke at a mastermind in Fort Lauderdale called Visionary 2025. In Vegas, I spoke at one of their masterminds, and it was called The Power of Influence. So, you can find me there if you need anything from me. If you're looking to be coached by someone with real experience, with real life teachable skills that can be taught to you, they can always reach out to me on one of them platforms, one of them social media platforms.
Okay, that's dope. I want my I know for sure I have someone that's interested in a sober living home.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna talk to you after the show, But of
Okay.
course, I'm going to put your information, whatever information for somebody to reach out in the show notes. And so this will be on YouTube. This will be on iHeartRadio,
Okay.
Podbean podcast and all of that. So I'll put that information out there for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Send me the links. I want to look at it.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, anybody out there that's listening, man, this has been a hell of an interview. And to be honest, Chuck, you are the first person I've had. I have. This 2026 will be my third year podcasting.
Okay.
I'm really just now getting almost at 10,000 downloads. We're pretty close. So it's growing. The podcast is growing. But you are the first person that I've had on here that has a story and a testimony like yours.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I really appreciate you coming on here and, talking about your story. It ain't always easy,
Dang.
So yeah, I appreciate that. And for anybody out there that has a story similar, reach out to Chuck. He's somebody that's been through it. Like, you know what I mean? This is what we do. We helping each other now. Like he said, pay it back with good. Why even be in the room with evil? Just let them do what they do. So
100%.
Yes, sir. I want everybody out there to remember our motto: keep making moves, keep making money, and make meaningful memories. Until next time, peace.